Out of Rebirth. WISE
It's the Weekly Serpent. It's probably been a few weeks in between the first one and this one. Obviously we've got the Daily Serpent coming out in the future. Thesis is 10 years from now no one will really remember. They just remember what they're seeing in the moment. I'm not judging myself. The whole purpose of the Art of Rebirth is to create something and test ideas, but really get a framework going. And then once we've got a framework going, to systemize things and get a team in order and work together for one common goal. And therefore you're pulled into the day rather than pushing uphill, because my main thing is an inside out job. My main thing is ministering, and ministering happens from the inside out first. Really from the inside to the inside first. You go deeper inside, and then you've got something to give. Okay, so last video I was out in the bush, so to speak. Now I'm in a vehicle. I don't own this one. I'm borrowing this one today. And today I just wanted to speak about owning your stuff, and being vulnerable, and it's okay to screw up. You know, it's okay. Everyone screws up. So owning your stuff, owning your stuff ups, and so I'm here to say, you know, I've stuffed up quite a lot in my life, and I want to talk about one specific thing, which is a real life example of something that hurt my reputation locally, in business, and it was taking the advice of billionaires and millionaires. Something that you hear quite common, you know, from Steve Jobs to Dan Pena, Shaka, other entrepreneurs. I haven't really heard many in Australia talk about this, but definitely in the US, a lot of these guys are talking about and bragging on the fact that they sleep in their offices, or they slept in their offices when they were starting out. You know, they're all about it. For me, they built up a bit of a romantic idea in my mind about what, you know, yeah, that's cool. Just got like living the entrepreneurial dream, and you're just like living raw, and you'll just sleep in your office. I thought it was cool. Now, I was living the van life a number of years ago, as I was starting to like test different ideas, and it was the particular idea we were testing out was the music school for WISE Serpent. So wiseserpentmusic.com is still up. However, we've kind of expanded into WISE Serpent Dream, because I found out that not just musicians needed help, or wanted to get into personal development and spiritual development, but you know, artists, athletes, etc., entrepreneurs, not just musicians. So the music school was awesome, but you know, it was at this time period where I was doing the van life thing. So I was living in my van. I'd invested some money from a partner to kind of build the vision on wheels, because I thought that was kind of best to get momentum going. What I really like about, by the way, van life is that you feel like you're really getting momentum first thing in the morning. When you wake up, you're literally in a location, where it's at the beach or in the hills or in the city. You're somewhere usually new, and because you're on wheels, you get up and you feel like you're already moving. You're literally like in life, you've got momentum going. So I like that about the van. Unfortunately, I had some mechanical issues. Decided, you know, and you know, anyone who knows me knows that money's last on my list. I think money's important, but money follows vision, money follows service, money follows value, and it's not the highest currency. I believe relationship is the highest currency. I believe the word is the highest currency. I believe the spirit in you is the highest currency. And we as people get to decide what has value, what doesn't. And so money's helpful because it's a bit easier than, say, trading a car for, you know, trying to trade bits of something physical from here to get someone to cut your hair, or get some, you know, it's kind of trade going on, the whole barter thing. I like trading, but you know, money's just liquefying, and we're going more digital with it these days. I don't see it as a bad thing at all. But it's how you use it. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. So if it's your main thing, money, then you are, at the very least, subconsciously derailing your own success, because on a long enough timeline you will get one, burnt out, and two, you're not going to be able to provide great value if your number one thing is making money, because your priorities are in the wrong spot. So if you love God and love other people, if that's your number one thing, then money will follow. Because really the most practical business and the best businesses and brands out there are serving the market, and that is the second commandment that Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. So you want to make it as good as you can. So that's a little side note, little burning bush there. But anyway, I was in this position in my life, on wheels, problems with the van, didn't really have the money to get it up and running, so I sold it to kind of I guess reinvest into my expenses, etc. Now I was renting this little office at the time as part of a music complex. They had a recording studio there. Previous to this, I'd lived in a recording studio before, and that was all good. That was awesome. I was the artist, master artist in residence and a studio hand, and did some work around the place there at a local recording studio. That was awesome. This is a little bit different. We had different rooms that were rented out to individuals just outside the city in Milan. So it was good to get this space. It was pretty cheap rent, and when the van went down, this idea of sleeping in your office was coming up, because it was something that I like this. I like the whole story of going from rags to riches. I like that. And if you're part of our group, the Art of Rebirth, Kingdom Wealth Facebook group, then that's what we've been talking about and kind of documenting. So yeah, you can look up AOR and then Kingdom Wealth. It should come up on the search bar for groups if you want to find that out. So that's just a side note with the group if you're interested. So people on Facebook, you can check that out. The office was very small and a good setup, a good base. It added credibility to the music arm of WISE Serpent, because it was literally what we were doing at the time. So it was good in that sense. But this idea of from Dan Pena and other very successful business people were like saying sleeping on the floor in your office is like something to be esteemed almost. I like the idea of it. I like I said, I like the rags to riches story. I like it, and to me it's practical. So I actually transferred from living in my van to living in my own office, because there was a kitchen there. We had 24/7 access to the space anyway, so I figured I'll just work around the clock, and whenever I need to sleep, I'll just sleep on the floor, and that'll work. So I was doing that. I did that for 2 or 3 months before people became wise of it for one reason or another. I think there's the fact that I was putting in, we had a security pass to go in and out of the building, and it just, the timing of me going in and out of the building just didn't add up. So that wasn't cool for the people involved. I figured it was better to ask forgiveness than ask permission. At the time, I just thought, you know what, I'm adding a lot of value to the space. And I was adding a lot of value to the space. I was adding more value than I was taking away just by physically being there. I was looking after the space really well and adding value to the space and to the people that were there. So it was all good. It was all net good, but it came to my attention, and the guy that ran it was like, look, legally you can't really do it, so we're going to have to ask you to leave. And so that and that story of getting kicked out of your office for sleeping on in it, it's kind of in one hand, it's kind of looking back. I think it's part of the origin story for WISE Serpent, and I think it's very WISE Serpent. I think it's on brand. I think it's because WISE Serpent's all about being, guttural. It's all about being raw, and I've got a little bit more dressed up today just because I feel like it. But we're all about staying in touch with reality, and reality is full of mud. Literally, it's all about dirt. It's not just clouds, to use Gary Vee's terminology. It's clouds and dirt, and we don't shy away from that. We love shadow integration. We love shadow self stuff. If you're into Carl Jung kind of stuff, then you know what I'm talking about. So, in Book of Isaiah, prophesying about the Lord Jesus Christ as well, he didn't hide from his own flesh. So the shadow work is all there. With Jesus, and he's a good prototype. He's a good model for us, and that's our whole thing with WISE Serpent is kind of prototyping after him. And we've been kind of experimenting with life, not dissimilar to King Solomon, who just had life experience and came to great wisdom through life experience. So that's what we've been doing, and so this is part of our journey. But yeah, owning our stuff and owning our story, we don't shy away from the fact that we did that. And of course, apologies to those that were involved and had to find out the hard way. I felt a little bit like I knew it was a temporal thing anyway, and I was looking to pay back the value in one way or another, long term, and still that's on my bucket list for the space that I was at to bring more value. And I was always looking to add value when I was there as well. But it is what it is. It was a romantic idea that was kind of put into my head. I'm not blaming. I take responsibility for what I did. But it was a romantic idea, and I did it. And there's nothing glamorous about sleeping in your office or anything like that. But it's part of our story. So just being transparent about it. If that's you, just a warning. It might not end up that well, because when people hear that, it's kind of funny, but also it doesn't look good for your business reputation if you're getting kicked out of your office, obviously. But we own that. You make mistakes and move on. So long term, people don't really care as long as you're consistently just adding value. That's what I believe truly to my core, is that if you keep on showing up, if you keep on adding value and your intentions in the right place, everything else will take care of itself. So just want to tell that little story, and I want to put out these videos, and eventually they will be on as the title does frame up. The Weekly Serpent, the Daily Serpent, they will actually line up like that. But at this point, I'm just setting up the framework, and then as far as the content goes, it'll be whenever it is. So until we get a team in place and everything like that. So we're working on that at the moment. We've got WISE Serpent Fest coming up in November. It's a great kind of online networking event, kind of like a virtual TED Talks meets Soundwave meets Warped Tour online. It's online, it's raw, but it's online. It's a virtual event, but we're locally hosting it at Kangaroo Island, which is a spot that's a few hours away from where I am here in South Australia. The indigenous name is the Island of the Dead, actually. Perfect place to rebirth in 2022. We got the Roaring Fire ceremony on the third day. If you want more information about that, go to wiseserpentfest.com, put in your expressions of interest if you want to be a part of it, or get your free Golden Key Pass there. There's a 2-day pass, it's 100% free, and there's a 3rd-day paid wall. If you want to get involved with the exclusive content, then get a ticket. Also free tickets with the 37 Club, which is our monthly partnership program. So this is all starting out now. We're rolling it out. We're officially launching the brand 11/11, which is the starting date of the event. We've got a location secured at Kangaroo Island at the moment, a base to run it out of, which is fun. And yeah, we're starting it out. We're documenting the journey, right? But what I want to say is, it's okay to make mistakes, and don't let your failures hold you back, because really they're not failures, they're feedback. And they're, yeah, as long as your intention's in the right place and you're looking to add value, then you may drop the ball here or there, but really if you keep on rocking up, keep on showing up consistently, then people will notice. And it's all about your intention. I really believe everything comes out of that. What's your highest priority? For us at WISE Serpent, the highest priority is making sure that we're good between us and God, that we're good from the top level, having a pure heart and being vulnerable and not hiding anything from the divine. That's number one. Number two is flowing that through music, art, and wisdom, and just taking the next step every day of what we need to do. And it's all get to, not a have to. And that's why we don't work hard, we work smart. And we work hard as well, because we play hard. So meaning when you find the thing that you really love doing and you're really passionate about, there's some hard work that might come from it, but it's not the same hard work as working for somebody else's vision. It's much more like playing hard. It's like, for me, my perspective growing up, playing in bands and everything, and being a musician, it's like you play music, you don't work it. Like you do, it's a work of art, but it's you know what I'm saying. It's not from the brow of sweat. It's from the inside out kind of pleasure garden that you're playing with, and that's where I believe everyone's highest value proposition is. So that's how you can create the most value and create the most wealth. Wealth not just being money, but wealth including money for the world and for yourselves. For the greater community, for sure. So finding where you fit in, finding your lane so you can drive down your lane and go crazy in your lane is really important. Not everyone will come with you, and not everyone will believe in what you're doing, but it doesn't matter. You've got to have that integrity. You've got to have that self-awareness and be tuned in to source to be able to be directed in your path. And so that's again the number one thing with WISE Serpent is staying in alignment, staying in the spirit. And for me personally, I've come to a stage where I was scratching my own itch just to finish up this video. With WISE Serpent, I was scratching my own itch as far as like creating a brand. I thought strategically it was a good idea, rather than just I'm funny, like I don't really like self-promotion. So with the band and with music, I really didn't want to just do the whole thing like where I just feel like I'm working like that. To me is like the bad kind of work, where I feel like I have to like be pushing out my music, pushing out my brand like that. I don't really want to do that. So what I thought is, if I build something bigger than myself, which is WISE Serpent, it can be a platform for not just me, but other spiritual artists, other athletes, entrepreneurs, personal brands, and individuals, spiritualists, pastors, ministers, rabbis, mystics. It could be it's an entertainment ministry, and it's a platform much bigger than myself. I'm the face of the brand, and I'm doing that strategically because it's better to have a brand with a face to it. But I don't need to be in it long term. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz is the way we're kind of building it out, where it's all projections and it's art forms, and there's a rhyme and a reason why we put out channeled artistic content. It's to throw the mind and feed the spirit, and it's to challenge ego, etc. Do shadow integration. That's what we've been doing on the underground for a while with some of our content. We started off doing that for Christian mystics in particular, but really the main objective was to build something bigger than ourselves, and so we can step away from it and have other people take over. So that's literally what we're doing with Dragon, which is our youth program. So we turn around, give all our free services away for youth aged 14 to 22. I lost my cousin when she was 14, and that's why I decided to make it from 14. Youth suicide's the number one cause of death in Australia. I didn't realize that until just a few years ago. So there still needs to be a little bit more awareness around it actually. And yeah, I really believe that the solution is hope. I've talked to enough people, and I've talked to enough people that have been down that road, and me myself, my own experiences, I know that hope is a rope. And so we're all about curating more stories of hope, and that's what the Art of Rebirth podcast is going to be all about. As much as about business, which is meaningful, which gives people a bit of a deeper meaning to life and give them empowering, not just motivating, but empowering information, because knowledge is power, to go out and have some autonomy in life and really go for it. You're not trapped. That's the message. So the Art of Rebirth is the beauty of transformation. That's what we're doing there. So kind of jump into a few things here, but the idea with WISE Serpent is bigger. It's bigger than just me. And so I don't feel bad about promoting it at all. Because at this point, like I said, I was scratching my own itch to do a cool brand that I thought, this is cool, doesn't really exist yet. It's influenced by, growing up, we had these punk rock shows from a Christian church that was like putting on these cool underground punk rock shows every month, and that was literally called The Underground, and there's nothing like it since. And it was a really cool, safe space, all ages show that was really impactful. We had some of the coolest bands and biggest bands, certainly in the Christian Australian scene, that come out of that scene. So lots of good memories there, and it was a safe space. So we want to do a similar thing with WISE Serpent, is open up a venue and etc. in the future. So hopefully next year we'll have that underway. But first things first, we're building things online first, and then you get in the heavens in order, and then it'll drop down the earth at the right time. So you can help that vision and mission. You can help bring the future into the now by joining the 37 Club. We just need 37 members to be able to open up a physical space and get the ball rolling, and to prove the concept that this is something that can be privately funded, a space for youth, and it can be done with as little as $37. So whether you're local or international, doesn't matter. You can join the 37 Club, and we're going to actually attach NFTs to that. So long term, if you're with us for 12 months plus, there's a good chance that you're going to secure an NFT. And if you secure one of these NFTs, as big as the brand WISE Serpent gets 10, 20, 30 years from now, these tokens, as we already know, it's a volatile market for sure, but as it stabilizes, we're still very early on in the game with NFTs, they will be worth a lot of money. So we wanted to give back to the community as well in certain different ways. Plus, I believe we're going to be giving out some free t-shirts as well for the first 37. So really excited about that. But the youth program, we're going to be partnering with other people. So it's not just about getting mentorship by Grace Lanata. I'm part of it. Yeah, I'm the face of the brand, but I'm building something bigger than myself, so that other people can come in and mentor in their specific specialized knowledge in their particular lane. So we're all about music, art, wisdom. We've got a spiritual perspective on life and lifestyle and business. We're all about lifestyle design your dream life, build your dream brand around your biggest passion, and rebirth in the new you, or break into the new you. That's kind of our thing, lifestyle design. And that's why we run a dream agency called WISE Serpent Dream at wiseserpentdream.com. So, whether you're youth and you want to find out more about that, check it out, wiseserpentdream.com. You can put in your expressions of interest to join the youth mentorship program. We're building a list out at the moment. If you want to sponsor or partner, you can do that as well. And of course, join the 37 Club. There's five ways that you can help and that you can get involved, including working for and joining the dream team itself, working for WISE Serpent, even internationally. So made the site super simple. It's kind of got a Gotham City kind of feel when you get there. We're an artistic kind of brand, so we're a magician archetype brand as well, kind of magician, jester, and actually we've got all 12 archetypes running through the like underneath the brand, but the surface of the brand is very magician and very jester, very tongue-in-cheek. So you will be triggered somewhere along the line, most likely, with Wise Serpent stuff, whether it's the content, whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, and that's okay. We're a media company, so that's what we do, and we're putting out channeled artistic content that throws the mind and feeds the spirit. So we're excited to put out more content in the future, and some full-length films and everything like that as we grow and go along. But so Wise Serpent, bigger than myself, and Wise Serpent is the dream is to have this the youth gaining valuable skills and work experience and having a safe space to work and develop and play, kind of like a university or a university project, that they get to come together and have a brand that they can use, kind of like if Vice had a youth program. So they just handed them, like, maybe it's called in that instance Vice Dream, and it was like, go and just create. Here are the paradigm, like here's the brand, here's the vision. If you want to get involved, then go for it. It's a way of leveraging the brand, and also the brand, it helps the brand grow itself. So it's kind of a win, and also a win for the community as they're viewing it, the whole thing. But so wiseserpentdream.com for all of that, wiseserpentfest.com for the festival this November, and first one of many. And I just wanted to share that story about sleeping in the office, and things are going to happen. There's cause and effect for everything, and just don't shy away from it, don't hide it, just own it and move on, learn from your mistakes. And what was I going to say? Scratching my own itch with this brand. That's why I created it, for sure, because I was like, I'm going to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it because I feel like it's my gift to the world. I don't need to do it. Like, some people might look at me and think whatever they think, but one thing they might think is that I'm trying to do something to get the brand out there, or trying to self-promote even with this brand. But my whole thing is, I'm not about self-promotion. That's why I did it in the first place. I'm going to get mine anyway. That's just the nature of it. When you give, you receive. But that's not the why behind I'm doing it. But as the scriptures say, do not muzzle the ox. So, I'll get fed on the way. I'll prosper as the brand prospers. But I really don't need to be doing it. I'm at the stage spiritually now, because that's really where the warehouse is. That's really where all the riches are. That I don't mind. I wouldn't mind burning Wise Serpent, and I've burned it many times in the past, and the Holy Spirit kept on bringing it back to life. I'd like work on it 3 years, 4 years in, because I started the brand in 2016 and started the journey in 2010, with learning about business and marketing and things like this. And every business I've started, I've made money in, but I haven't chased the money. I've left so much money on the table because it doesn't fulfill. It's not my motivator at all. What motivates me is people and truth and spirituality. So we've been building a kind of a business with 20% of the time that we have, and even the business is a spiritual practice. And the reason we're in business, in the business mountain, is because we're going to reach people with the good news and with spirituality that we wouldn't otherwise if we just sat in the church. We're from the church, but we're not to the church, because even the church can't even receive what we're doing. We're so out of the box. But we are having fun, and along the way. So now I'm at a place where I could quit the Wise Serpent. I could just delete all the accounts. I could go pour coffee for someone. I could go clean floors. I'm quite happy to do that, but I don't believe that's going to add the most value for other people. So Wise Serpent, although I started it kind of scratching my own itch, you know, fulfilling a creative need perhaps as well. You know, I'm fulfilled. I don't care if anyone sees my stuff or not. If I'm playing guitar, I don't care if there's an audience or not. I know that the Father sees me. The Father and I are one. So I've got that intimacy there all the time. I've got a 24/7 intimacy here. It's not just me. It's me and the cloud of witnesses. It's a spiritual atmosphere in my life. It's very rich. But the business stuff, and I can sense different mindsets, because I've been there with different mindsets. I know there's a bunch of people that would think, you know, spirituality and business don't mix. I believe that business is spirituality granted out in the most practical way, loving other people and giving and receiving. It's a beautiful transaction. Jesus did flip the tables of currency in the temple. I believe that was more of a heart issue, you know, back in the day. But I don't think God's against business at all. Look at King David. Look at the prosperity of Solomon. I believe it's all good to prosper. Look at the earth. It's full of glory. It's full of gold and glitter. And so it's beautiful. And yeah, you just got to have your house in the right order. So what I'm saying is, I'm very thankful to be here, and I want to yeah, continue documenting the journey, you know, one piece at a time. And like I said, 10, 20, 30 years from now, it'll be what it is. And I'm happy to burn it all. It doesn't really matter. And that's the kind of the perfect place to be, I believe. I believe it's a perfect place to be. Unattached, and but also healthily attached, because you can't help but not be attached, because you do fill and flood all things as a spirit being. You are touching the earth. You are part of it. So being healthily attached is great. And yeah, so to get to, not to have to, the perfect kind of sweet spot for the brand. And so yeah, it's exciting. So I can't wait to handball the brand to the youth, to run the record label, to run the magazine, to run WiseSerpentUnderground.com. I can't wait. It's going to be cool. And look, they're going to have differing opinions to me. They're going to put out content that I might not even necessarily agree with. But what I agree with is freedom of speech, freedom of action, freedom of opinion, because I think that's safe. I think as soon as we start becoming control freaks and trying to control other people's vocabulary and speech, we're getting into a dangerous territory of mind control. And I really don't believe that anyone has the right to have that kind of level of mind control. So if you're offended, get over it, because the offense is in you. Blessed are those that aren't offended of me, Jesus said. I think that's a good model. Yeah, it's normal in life to be challenged and to be offended and walk and work through stuff emotionally and intellectually on this path, and we just got to keep on doing it. But keep it simple. Keep the main thing. Love God, and life is part of that. Ultimate reality, that's another word I use for God. And God is love. God is love. Love is freedom. Freedom lets the bird go free. So there's some associations for your neural pathway and neuroplasticity. God is love. Love is freedom. Freedom lets the bird go free. It's for freedom's sake. I've set you free, the word says, the good book says. He who the Son sets free is free indeed. Look, being grown up in church, I realize there's some real deceptive, subtle nuances in delivery and application within Christianity that is actually very, very, very damaging and spiritually abusive, actually. And you know, evil spirits are a thing, and they're fully in the church. I'm just saying that's been my background, and so I'm excited about Wise Serpent, that we're bringing something fresh, and we're still pointing to the way. We're still pointing to Yeshua. For me, I've been on the Jesus trip all my life because it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's definitely a get to, not a have to, but it's rich with experience. You know, you can see the Lord face to face. If your flesh dies, you can see in the spirit. You can have contact with Moses. You can meet King David. You can access people, just like you have a dream about your grandfather. You can have dreams about the people that are in your DNA. So I'm really excited about the spiritual aspects. I'm really excited about the spiritual perspective on business. I'm really excited about music, art, wisdom. And yeah, so I think I'll leave it there. This is meant to be like more of a 10-15 minute thing, but got a bit of a roll on. But yeah, I'm excited that we're in the space of freedom to walk away from the brand without breaking a sweat. I think that's a really empowering place to be. I'm really happy about that, and looking forward to other people coming in and driving the car that is WISE Serpent. So if that's you, go to wiseserpentdream.com to get involved. If we want to partner our vision and our mission to create a positive shift in Australian youth culture through music, art and wisdom, then you can join the 37 Club, or there's other ways that you can help out there. Would love to have you connect with us at wiseserpentdream.com, and also get your free Golden Key Pass, get your ticket to the online festival, WISE Serpent Fest, hosted at Kangaroo Island, SA, South Australia. The Island of the Dead, the indigenous name for the island is the Island of the Dead. Perfect place to rebirth in 2022. Live speakers, live music, live products, and it all goes down. It's like a website that's live for 3 days and then shuts down. So it's exclusive. It's happening this year. It might not happen for another 3 years. So definitely check it out, wiseserpentfest.com for the festival. And thanks for hearing me out. I'm Grace Linehunter, and the Minister of the Arts here at the WISE Serpent Group, a spiritual artist, a magician. Abracadabra, it means I create that which I speak. Let there be light. And a sonic therapist, of course, because the word is the most healing power that we know. And literally, we've healed and resurrected whole parts of our lives and body as well. You know, we've have physical healings because of the word and the spirit attached to the word. So Jesus said, my words are spirit and they are life. So in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God, John 1:1. And that's a space that you can operate from in the now, because the now is the beginning, and you are in the center, wherever you're at right now is a fresh start, and you can create with your word. So yeah, we're really excited about everything that's going on. Check us out, wiseserpentdream.com, wiseserpentfest.com. Google my name for more information about me. You can hire me as well at my site, or everything helps to create a positive shift in Australian youth culture through music, art and wisdom. We could really do with the help as well, because we've got a very small audience, and we're just starting out. Basically, we're launching the brand 11/11 this year. So although we've been prototyping and getting ready to be ready for a while now, and learning along the way, hence this video about sleeping in my office. So thanks guys, peace, world peace that is. I'm out of here. Music, art, wisdom, do it with me. WISE Serpent, Christ magic. Music, art, wisdom. I'm Jesus Grace Linehunter, and this is my underground guide to the art of rebirth. Watch my story at wiseserpentunderground.com.